Ground at Newbridge, conditions not too far removed from a South African highveld. Warm, sunny, clear blue skies, and the pitch is hard. It's very, very hard. But the stage is set for this Heineken League match between Newbridge and Cardiff. And in fact it is a warm evening as well, quite warm in this box and even warmer out there behind us. And we're delighted to welcome with us tonight Jeff Evans, the Wales team manager, and Neil Jenkins. Now Neil, coming up here to Newbridge is not the easiest thing in the world, is it? Because Ponty came here and lost.
Yeah, to be honest, they've got a superb record on their own patch, and we come up here, we had the opportunity to go 2 points clear at the top of the league. I think we underestimated Newbridge just a little bit, and we come off second best.
Who do you fancy here tonight then?
I think it's going to be a very difficult game, to be honest, for Cardiff. I think that, like I say, Newbridge are very good in their own patch, but you know, it is for the title, and I think Cardiff, you know, they'd have prepared very well for tonight's game, and I think they know what to expect.
Yeah. Jeff, the side or the squad for the World Cup been announced on Monday or Tuesday. Are you running the rule now on players out here?
Oh, absolutely. I think we'll be running the rule over the players, not only tonight, on Saturday, on Sunday, and in fact on Monday. For we picked the side on Monday night and announced it on Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, we provided everything for you for a South African complexion.
Very decent of you. Very decent of you.
It's
nice enormous expense, I suppose. Isn't it?
Lovely. Okay. Well, there are two chaps who are captaining the two sides tonight, and Mike Hall of Cardiff and Newbridge's Peter Crane. Both of them were talking to Bob Humphries a little while ago.
Hi, Mike Hall, captain of Cardiff. You come here obviously as hot favourites, but presumably you're taking nothing for granted.
Oh no, not at all. We realise it's going to be a very difficult game this evening. Newbridge have got an excellent record at home, and it's going to be very tough.
They're a different team here, aren't they?
Oh, definitely. Sort of, you know, this is very much their track, and they've had some notable wins here this season, especially over Swansea and a couple of the other so-called big clubs. So we're going to be very much on our guard tonight.
What about this pitch? Because it really is baked hard. What effect will that have on the game?
It's amazing in Wales, the conditions you can have in a couple of weeks. It's, obviously the ball's going to bounce around a lot, and it's going to be pretty tough if you fall on it. So we're going to try and stay on our feet tonight.
What about you, Peter Crane, captain of Newbridge? Obviously you're in the role of sacrificial lambs here, but you don't want to play that one, do you?
No, we're known as sort of party poopers, so we're going to do our best and upset the bookies, so we're going to go out there and win.
You've beaten Pontypridd, can you do the same to Cardiff?
I think so. It's just on the night, really. If the ball bounces our way, then it'll be nice. We can get a nice start as well, so we're looking forward to it.
Well, he's always a confident captain, isn't he, Neil? Now, if Cardiff did lose this match tonight, that would put the ball back in your court, and you're going to have to score a lot of tries against York infinitely.
Yeah, obviously it's going to be very difficult if Newbridge do win tonight. Our side is already selected for Saturday, and we've decided to rest a lot of the boys, considering the cup game of the following Saturday. So, you know, we just have to see how things go. You know, we got a side very capable of winning on Saturday. We know that. It's not as if we've thrown our hat in and given it up already, but if Newbridge do win tonight, then you never know.
Yeah, right. Jeff, just taking on a few weeks, what's the mood in the camp now with the new squad of players going to the World Cup?
Well, you better ask Neil, really, but I think from my point of view, I think we're very positive, and as far as the coaching team is concerned, Alec, Dennis and Mike Ruddock, I think, and myself, we're all very positive. We think we've got some good players, and we've got to get them in an environment to perform.
Great. Well, one of those players who won't be performing here tonight because he has a leg injury, but he does hope to be in South Africa in a couple of weeks' time, is Derwin Jones. He was talking to Bob Humphries a little earlier.
Well, Derwin, the last time we saw you were being carried off the field at Cardiff. How is the injury?
It's a lot better than was first originally thought, you know. I went to the hospital on Saturday and had plaster put on, which is very worrying for myself and a lot of my friends, really. And but yesterday it got taken off. I had another scan on it, and there's no fractures and there's no serious ligament damage, so a couple of weeks hard for physiotherapy, and I should be okay.
Well, it's very, very warm here tonight, and Neil, I know that you've recently come back from a trip to Pretoria in Northern Transvaal. How did that go?
It was very enjoyable, to be honest. It was one heck of an experience. The stadiums are there, something special compared to what we received back home, and the hospitality and everything else was superb. And obviously the rugby is very difficult. You know, they got a great pride in their rugby heritage, and obviously we went out there with with a big ambition to win, but it was very difficult tonight, and we didn't quite make it.
You could be a key figure, the spy in the camp, having learned a smattering of Afrikaans, maybe.
Well, that's up to Jeff and the rest of them to decide that. But no, obviously, you know, I've been working very hard and training very hard lately, and but then that's obviously down to the selectors.
Jeff, you fly out to South Africa on...
You got May the 17th. Yeah.
Right, and that's 10 days before the first game.
That's right. That's right. The first game is against Japan in Bloemfontein. Yes, on the 27th. Yes.
So your expectations are high anyway for a successful trip?
Oh, I think so, yes. I think we've got to be positive, and I think there's no reason why we shouldn't be positive.
What sort of feedback have you got from South Africa in recent weeks about Wales and their chances there?
Well, I think that despite some of the performances in recent months, and also the fact we lost to them in November this year, I think South Africa have a high regard for Welsh rugby, and we'll try and show that that's quite right and proper.
Are we looking for a certain style over there?
I think what we're after is a winning style, and if we can play with style and passion and score tries, we'll win.
Yeah. Well, you're nodding in agreement there, Neil. I mean, did you feel at times this season that the passion was there, but?
Yeah, obviously it's been very disappointing, especially with the performance against South Africa. You know, there was a lot of passion, a lot of heart there, and I thought we performed quite well that day, especially up front. But to be honest, I think it's been very disappointing from the French game on. We haven't performed. We've obviously we got a lot of passion. We're trying very hard, but in the end, things just weren't coming off us. And to be honest, it was very disappointing, especially the last game against Ireland.
You feel it's been a pretty heavy season for you? You played an awful lot of rugby.
Yeah, it always is. It's very difficult. Two internationals early on in the season I don't think helped much. The qualifying games against Italy and Romania, they were very difficult. But putting on a Welsh shirt means everything, to be honest, and you don't really mind how many games are involved, and it's just the enjoyment of it.
They say the players are playing a lot of rugby these days, Jeff, but it's no less than the rugby that you played, surely.
I don't think it is. I think they're a bit fitter than when I played, or delete that, a lot fitter than when I played. But I think as far as the intensity of the games is concerned, it's a very physical game, but it's always been a very physical game. And I think that the players have got to learn to rest at the appropriate times and build themselves up to play at the appropriate times.
Lovely. Okay, well, Cardiff have taken the field with Mike Hall, their captain, leading them out. But they're not guaranteed the Heineken League title tonight, of course, but they'll certainly have one hand on the trophy, and much depends then on Saturday with Pontypridd against Llanelli. But tonight it's Newbridge against Cardiff, and your commentators are Brian Price, and first of all it's Eddie Butler.
Thank you, Alan. Welcome to the welfare ground at Newbridge, and it really is a scorching evening. Talking of summer rugby throughout the rugby world, really, and it'll be a major test of how the modern player copes with these conditions, because it does add a completely new complexion to the winter sport when you're playing in a hard ground, bouncy conditions. Peter Crane leading out Newbridge. And do you associate Newbridge with Gwent rugby, with a driving style amongst the forwards, and how will they cope with playing on this dust bowl here in the Western Valley of Gwent? Here's Newbridge. It's a fairly new look Newbridge itself, in that they've had so many injuries. No Andrew Gibbs in the back row, and Wayne Taylor, who played number 8 last Saturday, back in his normal position of fullback. But really, if that pack can get going, they'll cause problems to any side, even if they are chasing a title. Cardiff, coached by Alec Evans, who of course is now the coach of Wales, and it's a side packed with the Welsh World Cup squad. Captain of Wales, captain of Cardiff, Mike Hall in the centre. Bags of experience all around him. Andy Moore at scrum half, Adrian Davis, who might have a slight dodgy ankle tonight. But of course it's up front where this battle will be won, and again Cardiff might just have the edge there. And I suspect that he may be a key element, Brian Price, not just for Cardiff but also for Wales in the World Cup.
Well, certainly Alec Evans wants him as a controller of this game, and this is an important game in these conditions, that he has to control the game.
Referee Tony Rowlands of Treorchy gets the game underway, and Cardiff kick off, and Paul Cowlock, Newbridge second row, can't get fingers on the ball. Careless start by Newbridge, although not having put a finger on the ball means that Newbridge will have the first throw in. Paul Cowlock. Against Stuart Roy, Dr. Stuart Roy. Newbridge throw. Aimed towards Cowlock. Well claimed, two hands with good support on either side of the second row. Phil Withers, outside half for Newbridge. Brian Price.
Well, Paul Cowlock against Swansea on Saturday had a very good game indeed. Of course, he's a lonely line-out man in that Newbridge side this evening. he's going to have to jump at the front and at the middle, and occasionally he'll go back to the back as well.
Now it's Jonathan Humphreys of Cardiff wearing 2 to throw into the line out. Cardiff take the step. John Wakeford front of the line out for Cardiff. Hemi Taylor leads the driving maul around the tail. Phil Sedgemore on his own for the moment, but good driving by the Cardiff tight head prop. Andy Moore can't find Mark Bennett. Peter Crane is offside. The hesitation by the Cardiff halfbacks and forward standing off due to Newbridge lying offside from the ruck.
Peter Crane, ex-Cardiff player, he went down to Cardiff for just a season to see if he could get in. Didn't. Came back to his beloved Newbridge and really is playing very well here. And this is, I was surprised to see Phil Sedgemore break away then. They keep so tight usually, Cardiff, and that he's a little isolated there. Nigel Meek going over the top. In the end, it wasn't a bad wreck, but Newbridge by that time were offside.
Adrian Davis behind referee Tony Rowlands. Davis curling it in from the right. Beautifully struck by the Cardiff outside half. And so after just 2.5 minutes play, Cardiff take the lead with a penalty, 3 points to 0.
Well, that's what Cardiff and Adrian Davis wanted, that opportunity early on in the game to score, either through a try or through a penalty, and that eases the tension a little.
Phil Withers drives one low and hard, looking for the bounce on the hard ground. Neat touch from Adrian Davis. Taking the pass from Steve Ford, and that's an excellent clearance.
And this was Adrian Davis, very comfortable indeed. Yes, the player was coming hard at him. It was Steve Reed, the Newbridge player, and then that beautiful right-footed kick.
Nigel Meek, former Welsh hooker, ex-Pontypool. Again, looking for Cowlock. Can't claim it this time. Newbridge seem to have got their hands on it. Good foraging by the forwards there. Must be careful if it's a maul that they keep it going forward. Withers puts it up high. Testing Jonathan Westwood, who is found wanting. Now then, have Newbridge got the pressure on? Westwood sorts out his own mistake and does well to clear.
And of course Jonathan Westwood there, the ex-Newbridge player, and sun in his eyes a little, turned around, missed the ball altogether there. And I think the goalpost really came to his rescue there. Number 12 couldn't quite get to him, Alan Lewis. Alan Lucas, the Newbridge centre, rather.
Newbridge, good attacking line out. Meek aiming towards Cowlock again. Good tap down. Now, will they try for the rolling maul? No, go for the ruck instead. Bit of confusion between the halfbacks. Well picked up by Lucas. Newbridge held up slightly. Richard Smith. Now they've got a chance. Simon Hill. Cardiff pouring across in defence. And in fact, so great was the blanket of Cardiff defenders that they've earned themselves a penalty. Hemi Taylor, last up.
And you notice Hemi Taylor and Peter Crane there together. We're going to see these two very close together all through the night.
Adrian Davis drilling the ball through the sunlit evening air. Ryan Buckley on the left, Mike Griffiths with the black headband on the right, two loose head props. Humphreys towards Owain Williams at the tail. Waitford on the peel. Griffiths in support. Andy Moore waits, but he'll have to hand the ball over to Adrian Davis. Penalty again to Cardiff. Newbridge infringing at the ruck.
And once again, it was a front row forward at that time. Nigel Meek was the guilty person coming in and making the tackle. Cardiff going for the peel around the back of the line-out. And here's the throw to the back of the line-out. Of course, Cardiff have got superiority in height and numbers there. Wakefoot turning inside. Cardiff developing the maul. They're trying to stay on their feet. Then they go to the ruck, and that's where Nigel Meek just smothers the ball.
Adrian Davis, 1 out of 1. This, his second kick. Certainly long enough. Dead straight. Cardiff increased their lead, a second penalty by their outside half after 7 minutes, and it's now Cardiff 6, Newbridge, the home side, 0.
Well, Adrian Davis hasn't put a foot wrong yet, has he? 2 penalties and 2 beautiful kicks out of his hands, finding very long touches.
Withers with the restart again, settling for this low, hard one. Steve Ford. Ball going over the try line. Cardiff with the option now of the scrimmage back on the halfway line. A little careless by Phil Withers there. Cardiff split 3-3 on either side of the scrum. Owain Williams, Andy Moore. Westwood in from fullback. The challenge on him. Good covering by Richard Smith. But there was indeed a bit of obstruction on Westwood after he kicked ahead. And Cardiff have the penalty.
But that was a lovely move by Cardiff. Channel 1 ball coming to Owain Williams. And then Jonathan Westwood coming into the line, making the kick, and then the late tackle. And this is it. Channel 1 ball. Owain Williams picking up, looking for Andy Moore, peeling around the side, and then the ball moves across. And this is where Jonathan Westwood comes in, looking for the little kick ahead, and there it is, his opposite number, Wayne Taylor, coming in just a little high and with an elbow.
So it's been a tale of Cardiff with the control and the attempt to run the ball, and Newbridge, to prevent tries, are giving away penalties. Adrian Davis, plenty of place kicking practice. That has missed, so it's only 2 out of 3.
Well, this is almost a mirror to the game as it started against Swansea in the Swaley Cup on Saturday. Newbridge gave away early penalties then, but came back very strongly in the match.
Withers again kicks beyond his forwards, Andy Moore. A little bit of accidental offside there. Andy Moore, the Cardiff scrum half, running into his own player. Scrum down, Newbridge put in. Paul Edwards, Newbridge tight head against Mike Griffiths. Ex-Bridgend and Cardiff, the pair of them.
It doesn't look as if they're great friends there, does it? They don't want to get too close to each other.
Well, the front rows, it's a tussle on a world all of their own, and Cardiff seem to have the better of it at the moment. Good drive by Cardiff, but Newbridge scrambled it back for Smith and Withers, and they go wide. Good kick downfield, making Westwood turn and tighten his angle, but safely into touch.
Jonathan Westwood, he'll be looking for a good game here at Newbridge this evening. He's under a lot of pressure. Every time he puts his hands on the ball, the crowd will be booing him, I'm sure.
Stuart Roy in the middle of the Cardiff line-out. For him, it's a defensive line-out because it's Nigel Meek to throw. And again, the aim is towards the middle. Well taken. Withers, missed pass. Wayne Taylor in from full-back, but he had to stand still for a moment or two. Still Newbridge in possession. Good interpassing by the front four forwards and the number 8. Gavin Pugh, good driving by him. Cowlock on the far side of the field. And he's done well to stay infield. Withers ignores the back row support of Marcus Lawford, and Newbridge have the penalty. Richard Smith again darting up the blind side, making no ground, but the referee's arm was already and always raised for the penalty. Good play by Newbridge.
Very good play by Newbridge. Newbridge forwards look very comfortable with the ball in their hands. They did so against Swansea, and certainly again there tonight. I think it was Paul Edwards with the very nice little touch.
Alec Evans, Brisbane and Queensland, and now Cardiff and Wales. Terry Holmes, Charlie Faulkner, Tony Faulkner. The Cardiff Gurus all in a row.
And this is Newbridge. They were really good in this ruck. They picked up very quickly indeed the scrum half, looking for support. Paul Edwards in his way initially, but it was Paul Edwards who received the ball and then popped it straight back to Gavin Pugh, who seemed to have acres of room then. Good tackle by Jonathan Westwood coming in. And this is where I think Newbridge went a little astray after this. They scrambled the ball around. Paul Cowlock took it very close to the touchline, and I think we'll see the outside half, Phil Withers, just cut him back inside, really, when he had support on the outside. Good tackle by Jonathan Humphreys.
Phil Withers, his first penalty attempt. The wind is slightly in his favour in this first half. Again, another excellent kick by an outside half. Phil Withers with his first success, and the deficit is now reduced. Newbridge 3, Cardiff 6.
Phil Withers, an excellent kick from that side of the field there, and Phil Withers scored all his points, 11 points against Swansea on Saturday, penalty goals and a try.
His opposite number, Adrian Davis, with his first restart of the game. Well claimed by Brendan Fisher, the prop playing in the second row for Newbridge. His clean catch earning Newbridge a penalty after Cardiff transgressed on the ground. Withers. And Newbridge straight back into the Cardiff half, and they will have the throw from the penalty kick to touch. Peter Crane, Newbridge open side, captain, ex-Cardiff. It's Crane and Pugh, the targets at the back, but Hemi Taylor claiming for Cardiff. And the Cardiff forwards set up the drive. Sedgemore and Hemi Taylor swing it left. Owen Williams now with his hands on it. Andy Moore goes in to retrieve. Becomes part of the rolling maul. Good control by Cardiff. Owen Williams has it again. Hemi Taylor takes over. They go right this time. Wakeford. Wakefoot one-man head up, everybody else head down. Good positions. Owen Williams goes in, digging, but only going for the ball.
And a little bit of tussle there between Hemi Taylor and a few of his club mates, as were at Newbridge before he went to Cardiff. But Cardiff are very good at that tight rolling ball. They're so well organised in that part of their play.
It's one of those strange situations, a lot of interchange between the players of Cardiff and Newbridge. Owen Williams, he's not one of them, but Hemi Taylor, Peter Crane.
It may be something to do, of course, with the colours that they both wear normally. But this is quite a good, well-organised rolling ball here. They take the ball quite a long way and put the pressure on Newbridge to give away the penalty that Adrian Davies is now going to attempt.
I think it's one of those situations where Newbridge reacted to the feet of Owen Williams going in there, but he was very close to the ball and there were really no bodies around him. Davies to make it 3 kicks out of 4. He does so. His third penalty. Cardiff up to 9, and their lead increased to 6 again.
And he's certainly on form with his kicking tonight, especially from this side of the field, the left-hand side, with his right boot, of course, the favoured side for him.
Phil Withers this time thinks about going right for winger Simon Hill to chase. We've got 2 Simon Hills on the field tonight, both on the wing in fact, Cardiff left wing and Newbridge right. A misjudgment by the Cardiff forwards, or was it? Was that straight out of play? Yes, it was.
Well, certainly the Cardiff forwards seem to think it was, and they're looking for the quick line out, but Andy Moore was well covered by the Newbridge players there. A little mistake. I thought perhaps 1 or 2 of the Newbridge forwards may have got a hand to that and stopped it from going direct into touch.
Cardiff this time have split 4-2, 4 on the right-hand side, just 2 on the left, but will Owen Williams try another pick-up to feed Andy Moore? No, this time Moore goes in himself, and they go left. Davies, very sensibly, well played by Cardiff, playing the options and good, sensible, classical football.
Well, that's Adrian Davies probably at his best, controlling the game, seeing the space, just pumping the ball through, making sure that his forwards are always going forward, and I think they'd be putting a little bit of pressure on Newbridge here in the line-out.
My call, centre of Cardiff, centre of Wales, captain of Wales, captain of Cardiff. Wakefoot in the middle. Owen Williams clears up. Andy Moore, left-footed, towards Wayne Taylor. He was on the move. Did he call for the mark? He didn't. But I think Newbridge have got back quickly enough to rescue the ball. Richard Smith, knowing that there weren't too many three-quarters or the fullback behind him, took the responsibility and cleared well to touch.
Good play by the Newbridge fullback there, really, after playing number 8 for Swansea. He was stuck in to a lot of the Wrexham mauls on Saturday, but here he was under pressure and did very well to get the ball for Newbridge.
Cardiff reduced to 2. Wakefoot at the front, Roy at the tail. It's Stuart Roy. Davis, missed pass. Hall, Hemi Taylor, straightens it well. Can get up immediately and play on, not held in the tackle. Delivered to Andy Moore, goes right. Westwood chips for Steve Ford to chase, and it's just a knock-on by Ford. Well, it would have been very clever play. It was a deliberate knock-on, but if he'd caught it, the try would have counted.
A wry smile there from Steve Ford. He knew they had the opportunity. The ball is bouncing very high from these little chip kicks.
Newbridge under pressure. On comes the pressure from Cardiff. The big squeeze. Pugh forced to pick up 5 metres from his own line. Smith digs in. Cowlock, the second row, trying to get out of the way. But it's okay for Newbridge because Cardiff offside give away the penalty.
Good play by Gavin Pugh, the Newbridge number 8 there, to make sure that that ball was coming back. Cardiff set scrum were under a lot of pressure.
The ball The ball heading towards Steve Ford, and he needs just 2 tries to break the Heineken record and just 4 tries to break the Cardiff record of 41 tries in a season from Blethen Williams. Clever play really for the knock-on there, but just too far for his fingertips. Nigel Meek to throw in front of the assembled faithful of Newbridge. The sun in the crowd's eyes on that side. Cowlock can't claim it. Cardiff, Davis, Geraint John. Cardiff going for ruck ball, but temporarily held up by the Newbridge midfield. Newbridge doing well to hold it up. Andy Moore tries to dummy his way through, held by Crane. Good tackling by Newbridge again. And it's that good defence which earns them the penalty this time.
Andy Moore really is a very, very good scrum half indeed, and that's what Alec Evans likes about him. He competes around the loose set scrums and rucks.
Andy Moore, the man trying to keep that penalty clearance from Phil Withers infield. There he is, Andy Moore, into the Welsh squad. 3 scrum halves at the moment: Paul John, Robert Jones and Andy Moore. And on Monday, I presume, Brian, that one of them will have to go.
I think they'll probably only take 2 scrum halves, and there's a lot of talk that the money is on Andy Moore and Paul John, would you believe?
Nigel Meek to throw into the Newbridge line-out inside the Cardiff 22. Well claimed by Gavin Pugh. Two-handed catch, and if you do catch it two-handed, it tends to expose the people on the other side who are infringing offside, and that was the case then. Gavin Pugh, good catch at the tail.
Yes, and not only that, it also plants some sort of indecision in the opposition's mind when you catch the ball, rather than everyone piling through onto the scrum half. They know they have to stay their ground. And here it is again, an excellent jump by Gavin Pugh, good two-handed catch, comes down and he's staying there, and there's the Cardiff player just on his back really in an offside position.
The view from directly behind Phil Withers, his second penalty, successful with his first. Coming up to 24 minutes played of this first half. We've had 4 successful penalties, and this would put Newbridge to within 3 points of Cardiff. Pushed right.
There's Phil Withers, formerly of Cross Keys and Swansea. Of course, he tried his luck at Swansea. A crop of those players from Cross Keys who went, when Cross Keys was relegated, left the club, and he's doing very well for Newbridge now.
Davis, the variation of kick. Wayne Taylor tries to put it straight back in the corner, and beautifully judged by the Newbridge fullback. That's a tremendous kick, taking advantage of the high ground. He's naturally left-footed, and that was a little gem of a kick.
And really now this is, Newbridge will bring, I would have thought, Paul Cowlock up to the, close to the front anyway, to look for the ball.
In fact, it's Gavin Pugh who's
come up, and Paul Cowlock's gone back to look at Stuart Roy.
Humphreys. Cardiff step a bit raggedly across, well taken by Wakeford. Andy Moore clears. Neat play by both forwards and half-back of Cardiff.
It's very difficult now to compete for that front of the line-out ball. It's almost like a set scrum. It practically goes with the head these days.
Quickly taken by Newbridge. Here they go. Withers. They're all a bit flat at the moment. Taylor in from full-back. Was there a knock-on there? Slight confusion, I think. They hadn't managed to realign themselves in the 3 quarters, but it was quick thinking by the forwards, and blimey, 3 quarters out-thought by the forwards.
Yes, the quick thinking of Nigel Meek probably to take that quick throw in.
Cardiff. This time it's the Cardiff pack under a bit of pressure at the scrummage. Not too much though. Davis clears right up to the halfway line, precisely on the halfway line. Gavin Pugh, number 8 for Newbridge. He's moved around the line out. And he's the target. No, it's not. It's Cowlock in the middle this time. Well taken by the number 5. Newbridge's turn to try the rolling maul. Becomes a ruck. Still good ball for the three-quarters. Withers turns Steve Ford. Good play again by the Newbridge pack and by the halfbacks. Phil Withers this time with the probing kick. We've seen a left-footed one from fullback Wayne Taylor and the right-footed variation from Phil Withers. Jonathan Humphreys for Cardiff, the hooker, over on the far touchline. It's a very much a defensive line out. They're only 15 metres from their own line. And again, a good catch by Wakeford at the front. Because of that catch, Cardiff have made 10 yards. Andy Moore adds another 20 metres, 25 metres. So from the defensive position, Cardiff have now moved back to where that last passage of play started, the halfway line.
And that's what that step is about. When Cardiff and all the sides now step out, they're jumping into the ball and the momentum is going forward already. Wakeford taking a very good catch and driving with the rest of the forwards.
Just come back to that point in a moment, Brian, about the step, but for the moment, Nigel Meek, again, Cowlock, the target. This time Cardiff get in his way, and it's a knock-on. Just talking about that step that everybody in the world seems to take. Apparently the French aren't too keen on it, and they're having a referees conference in Canada at the moment, and Marcel Martin is likely to recommend that the step across be banned for the World Cup. Anyway, here at Newbridge it's a scrummage, but I'll let you have a say on that in a minute, Brian. Andy Moore, good scrummage for Cardiff. Simon Hill, left wing. Newbridge has swallowed him up, and it's essential now that Cardiff get the ball. Good drive by Newbridge, but it's illegal, killing the ball over the top. Penalty to Cardiff after initially good defence by Newbridge.
That was unfortunate for Newbridge, really. I think it was the drive coming from behind the Newbridge players who were close to the ball, knocked the Newbridge players on the floor over the ball.
Just like your opinion really on this stepping across, Brian, and that it may be under threat for the World Cup.
Well, if it is under threat, it'll have my support to banish it altogether, because I'd like to see the forwards stand much closer together and stop this diving across. Injury to Nigel Meek, I think, and a chance for Cardiff to have a word. Andy Moore talking to his tight 5. Stuart Roy, number 5, with his back to us. Alongside him, John Wakeford. Well, it's essential to have a peaked cap on that far side of the ground. And one way of keeping the sun out of the eyes. Alec Evans, alongside him, Mark Ring. Cardiff, for the second time, reduced to 2 in the line-out. Wakeford and Roy, number 5. Roy is the target. Scrappily to Moore, but Davis, Henny Taylor not expecting it, and Phil Withers makes them pay, lands it on the line. Or was that dust? I think there's plenty of dust over there, but Eddie, there's hardly a blade of grass on that side of the field there. But good thinking by Withers indeed. He saw the gap and just punched the ball through there. I think Hemi Taylor was just caught out there, wasn't expecting that little pass.
The full Cardiff line-out. Well off the top by Roy. The midfield, Mike Hall tries a run for almost the first time. Slips to get out John. Cardiff arrive in numbers, but Newbridge again have held up release of the ball. This time Moore though. Mike Hall for the second time involved in the movement. Back to Moore. Adrian Davis. Westwood on the far side. Steve Ford to scrum half. Adrian Davis, dummies on his own. Turns and presents. Moore. Mark Bennett crashes back infield. Good ruck ball again. Owain Williams tries the sidestep. Owain Williams a yard short. But support is on hand. And although Cardiff have crossed the line, the try has not been allowed. Owain Williams, the man that drove to within feet, if not inches.
But that was typical Cardiff play there, where we saw a lot of the back row forwards, Owain Williams in particular, the last man, I think, to take the ball from the scrum half. A little pass, they look for these back row forwards. A nice little sidestep from Owain Williams. Good defence, good tackling, holding him up. And Jonathan Humphreys, I think it was, coming in, trying to pick up the ball, and it looks as if he scored indeed. I couldn't see what was wrong with that, other than the referee probably had just blown the whistle before.
I suppose Hemi Taylor came flying in and could be accused of having gone over the top, but if that were the case, that would be a penalty, and it looks as if he's awarded a scrummage. Perhaps he just blew a bit too soon. Anyway, it's a Newbridge scrum, presumably a knock-on somewhere. Oh, good Cardiff drive. Richard Smith, Newbridge scrum half. We'll have to be careful here. Seven minutes to go before the interval. We're entering that phase of the game where a score almost carries double weight. Tony Rowlands talking to the front rows and swapping sides. It's this old tussle of Mike Griffiths against Paul Edwards. And there should be big Cardiff weight coming on now. Withheld well by Newbridge. And Richard Smith, it looked a good pass, but it missed everybody completely. So now...
But that was good scrummaging by Newbridge. If you compare that to Saturday against Swansea, where they conceded a pushover try.
All the pressure back on Newbridge. Cardiff with room to operate on the blind side. Owain Williams waits. Tries to find Ford, cuts back inside. Good Newbridge defence again, held by three players. And the one thing Newbridge will try and do is get it into touch, which is precisely what they manage. Excellent tackling and overall defence by Newbridge.
But you must say there was no explosive movement from Cardiff from that set scrum at all. And by the time Steve Ford had the ball, he had about 3 or 4 of the Newbridge pack with him as well.
Still tense moments for Newbridge in defence. Nigel Meek, 7 or 8 yards from his own line to throw in. Cowlock, another two-handed catch in the middle of the Newbridge line out. Smith. Good play by the scrum half, left-footed this time.
It was good ball coming back to him as well. Paul Cowlock shows the confidence he has in his own jumping ability and the support around him, that he took that ball in the middle of the line out rather than the front.
Cardiff down to 3. Owain Williams at the tail. In fact, they're 4. But anyway, Owain Williams is the target, but not well delivered to his scrum half. And Newbridge breakaway. Smith through 2 tackles. Crane, captain, alongside his scrum half. Withers taking the ball from an unusual scrum half. Pushes Westwood way back into zone 22, under pressure from Simon Hill, hasn't found touch. Withers, Wayne Taylor, it's that left foot back towards this right hand corner. Andy Moore covering for Cardiff. Now he's knocked it over his own line, and that will be a 5-metre scrum.
Well, it was good pressure from Newbridge all the time then, making sure that Cardiff were under pressure. We saw that Jonathan Westwood was put under pressure, failed to find touch, and then we see Wayne Taylor, just a hopeful kick. It looked down in the corner, but it's given them a golden opportunity now.
Newbridge's 5-metre scrum. Channel 1 ball when perhaps they were looking for something a little bit more set up. Still, they have the ball. Lucas in midfield. Holding on to the ball in the tackle. And so Newbridge can't take advantage of their good 5-metre position. Relief for Cardiff.
Yes, they were looking for a more controlled ball from that set scrum, I'm sure, there, where they were looking to move, perhaps a back row move, with Gavin Pugh picking up with support from Peter Crane and Marcus Lawford.
There's a Newbridge player injured back where Adrian Davis took the penalty. It's Alan Lucas.
Alan Lucas, a very strong, forceful player. The one thing about the Newbridge three-quarter line that they're guilty of is drifting across the field while they're attacking. There's no one coming straight for them very often.
Paul Cowlock, the face of an angel. Up he goes, but beaten this time by Roy in the middle. Geraint John, Mike Hall cutting back and through. Looks for support, still on his feet. Good strength by the centre. Newbridge come over the wrong side, give away the penalty. Strong midfield running by Cardiff. Gavin Pugh penalised.
Well, that's Alec Evans in a nutshell there. That is good first phase ball coming from the line out. But and there it is. Good ball from the line out, and then Mike Hall came back towards his forward. And this is what Alec Evans bases his game on. He's coming back, looking for the tackle, staying on his feet, waiting for the support. The support was a little slow in getting to him, actually. And Paul Cowlock made the tackle. And there it was. Gavin Pugh probably rolled in the offside position.
Adrian Davis, his 5th attempt at goal. And again, he's judged it absolutely right. That's his 4th penalty. And Cardiff up to 12 points. Newbridge trailing on just 3 points.
Well, unfortunately for Newbridge, they've given the penalties away for exactly the same thing. The 4 penalties for that, or apart from the one for the late tackle, but certainly going over the top in these rucks.
Phil Withers this time tries to throw it up for his forwards, but it's gone a bit too far. Cardiff drop it. Was it knocked on? Seems so. So slight carelessness in the Cardiff forward ranks there. Just a minute to go before half-time. Newbridge again slightly turned at the scrimmage. They'll have to restart on that. Brian Price, impressions of this first half?
Well, it seems to me that Cardiff have more of the control. A lot of the game have been in this sort of area between the 10-metre lines or between the 222s. But certainly, I think Cardiff are in control at the moment.
Well, a little friction in the front rows has led to some back chat from Paul Edwards, and Newbridge have been penalised. So a waste of an attacking platform. Adrian Davis pushes Newbridge back into their own half. Injury time at the end of the first half. Owen Williams at the tail against Gavin Pugh. Too many men in the line, I think. Andy Moore takes it quickly. Mark Bennett runs in front of him. Humphreys, hooker, sets up the ruck. Andy Moore changes direction. Davis changes the tactic. Wayne Taylor waits. Well taken by the Newbridge fullback, but he's lost it now. Mark Bennett. Cardiff ending the half in control. Davis to Moore, to Hall, not making much forward progress until now, and it's Hall. And now it's Ford. Steve Ford presents the ball. Lawford seemed to kill the ball there. Adrian Davis keeping the ball alive, even if it means stopping. Cardiff reset among the forwards. Sedgemore with his hands on the ball. All the forwards pile in. Bennett, Humphreys, they're all going for it. Jonathan Humphreys in control. It's become a ruck. Moore on his own, tries to go through Crane, well held by the Newbridge captain. There's the ball, and it seems that Newbridge have got it, but they're offside.
Well, that was all due to pressure coming from the forwards. It looked as if Adrian Davis had stopped the momentum at one time when he just stopped, but he was looking for one of the forwards to take it on, and I thought this was a little harsh probably on Newbridge, because the ball wasn't on the floor, they were being held up, and perhaps the referee thought that Newbridge were in an offside position.
Well, just when it seemed the try might be scored, we have instead another penalty. We've had 5 successful penalties, and this is the simplest of them all. Adrian Davis with his 5th. Cardiff will go into half-time with a 15-3 lead. We've nearly played 3 minutes of injury time, and in fact the referee has blown for half-time. So here at Newbridge, Cardiff have a healthy lead, 15 points to 3, even if it has only been established by penalties. Newbridge 3, Cardiff 15.
Well, that's it. Very entertaining first half, if for the fact that we haven't had any tries. But Jeff, that was a fairly business-like performance from Cardiff.
I think so. They've come here to do a job. They've come here to try and win the title tonight, and I don't think they've played any flamboyant rugby, but they've won a lot of ball, exerted a lot of pressure, and had Newbridge under the cosh for a lot of the game.
Yeah, it looks like a good night for kicking, Neil.
Yeah, they seem to be kicking very well. Adrian striking the ball superb tonight, out of hand and obviously off the floor as well, and he's only missed the one, but he struck that very well. His confidence must be very high at the moment.
I sense that Newbridge might well have had the chances in that first half, though.
Yeah, they did. I think that they gained some good territory. They obviously they got into the Cardiff half on quite a few occasions, but I think when they've got there, they seem to just panic that little bit, and you know, they haven't taken their time, and obviously they've given away a few penalties in silly positions in the Cardiff half.
Yeah. Well, this is where Steve Ford might have had a chance of scoring. Neil?
Very unlucky, to be honest. I think he done extremely well there. I think he'll be kicking himself later on, but great grubber kick through by Jonathan Westwood there, but he's just very unlucky not to grab the ball and score the try.
Yeah. Jeff, where would you assess Cardiff have established their authority in that first half?
Well, I think at the scrum they had Newbridge under pressure most of the time. Most of the lineups, although Paul Cowlick has done quite well for Newbridge, most of the time when the chips are down, Cardiff are winning that ball. So they've had the ball and exerted the pressure.
Do you think that there's a sense of over-elaboration, though? Is there an aspect of the game we've seen so far tonight that, well, frustrates you a little bit?
No, I don't think it frustrates you. I think that what they're trying to do is to play it fairly close too, but I wouldn't be surprised in the second half that if they do get a bit more ball and as the game wears on, they'll move it a bit wider and look to run in some more points in the second half.
Yeah, a game that's not too dissimilar from the one that you play at Sardis Road.
Yes, obviously they're winning a lot of ball through the line out and exerting a lot of pressure in the scrums, and you know, when they do move it, they bring in Mike back down the middle or getting John, and obviously they're keeping the ball tight and you know, sort of wearing Newbridge down type thing, and their ball retention is very good tonight, and obviously is exerting a lot of pressure for Adrian to kick the goals.
Yeah. Okay, let's hear a little word now from Terry Holmes, the assistant coach at Cardiff.
Well, Terry Holmes, 15-3, is it going according to plan?
Well, it's been very difficult, you know. Newbridge has showed tremendous commitment, very difficult side to play against, you know. They've upset our rhythm and we haven't got anything really going. We've kicked a few penalties, but we need to find a bit of rhythm so we can move the ball and maybe run in a few tries, but very difficult to play against.
All kicks so far, you'd be looking for tries this half.
Yeah, certainly, you know, a win will be a win for us, but obviously we're looking to, you know, win well and score a few tries. That's what the game about, and on a surface like this, it'd be sad if the big crowd didn't see some good attacking football.
Confident for the second half?
Yes, yes.
Thanks,
Hard
Terry.
work, we'll go.
Thanks, Terry.
Phil Withers restarts with another one of those low kicks which just goes straight to Hemi Taylor. No number on his back of his shirt, but a great run by Hemi Taylor all the way up to the Newbridge 22. And the referee's whistle goes, and really that was a wonderful opportunity missed by Cardiff, but what a run by Hemi Taylor.
Well, I was just saying at half-time what a quiet game he's had. He was must have been right outside our window here and heard us perhaps, but yes, he took the ball cleanly, and he always looks for 3 quarters to run it.
So Newbridge instantly under pressure in the second half. Taylor breaks off from the scrum, but Cardiff still edging forward, and Withers does well to clear for Newbridge. Phil Withers, good smile on his face.
And there's Hemi Taylor heading out towards the 3 quarters through that gap there, and then he sees an open field in front of him, which will close eventually. A little disappointed perhaps that some of the Cardiff players, quicker players, didn't quite get to his shoulder for the pass.
Cardiff step, excellent ball from Roy. Geraint John looks for the corner where Wayne Taylor made Cardiff suffer a bit in the first half, and the tactic seems to be working. I think the wind may just drift play down towards that corner.
But excellent ball by Stuart Roy. Of course, he's been jumping in front of the line for most of the season with Derwin Jones in the middle of the line out. But Stuart Roy is an excellent jumper, front or middle.
There he is, Stuart Roy, hands in the air, but it's Nigel Meek to throw for Newbridge. And again, another good take by Cowlock in the middle against Stuart Roy. Richard Smith, again, good left-footed kick.
Richard Smith, yes, a cool customer. He's had a few little sniping runs himself in broken play. Not a strong-looking man, but certainly an elusive one.
Injury here to Paul Cowlock. Looks as if he's got an ankle.
Yes, well, Paul Cowlock, I know, had a cortisone injection before the Swansea game on an Achilles tendon, and of course in that game Gavin Pugh wasn't playing, and he had to do all the line-out work, the front, middle and the back of the line-out, and had a tremendous game against Swansea, so probably he's suffering a little bit out there. And here's an example of Paul Cowlock's work. He's up against Stuart Roy, but of course you must remember it is Cowlock's throw-in, so he steps backwards. Excellent support coming from the people around him, and there's the ball ready for the scrum half. He's just waiting for the delivery to put it back into touch and find ground and relieve the pressure.
I think with so much movement allowed in the line-out now and so much support tolerated, that it comes down eventually to how accurate the throw is, that if he's dummying backwards, it just needs the hooker to avoid the opposition jumper, and you can claim it two-handed.
That's exactly right, and with someone like Paul Cowlock, who's a natural good jumper anyway, and he's not a big man, a huge man, he can be lifted to great heights.
This time it's Cardiff's turn to see what they can do at the line-out. Perhaps that was a dummy there, and it's worked. And it's John Wakeford on the peel after good work by Mark Bennett right at the back. Phil Sedgemore tries to get it out for Cardiff. They try to set up that maul, which has been effective. It becomes a ruck. So far, so good for Cardiff. Geraint John switches the direction. High tackle on him, which he goes through. Good running by the Cardiff centre. Andy Moore, still room on the left. Adrian Davis, half dummies. Good strength by Adrian Davis to get out of 2 tackles there. Phil Withers, the Newbridge outside half, is held in there. Cardiff could have an overlap there, and Newbridge, perhaps conscious of that, came offside, and it's yet another penalty just when a try seemed on.
Nigel Meek there. No, he was offside there. There was a lot of pressure from Cardiff, and it looked as if they could have gone down that blind side, but Nigel Meek stood in the way there. Perhaps that's even a case almost for a penalty try, or certainly for perhaps a differential penalty somewhere in the middle of the field, closer to the post, because it is ruining the game when they deliberately stop tries from scoring by being offside. But here it is again, constant Cardiff pressure. We saw Geraint John coming back strongly across the field. Again, he's looking for the Cardiff forwards, but again, all these Cardiff players are well versed in putting that ball back on the floor. Adrian Davis showing plenty of momentum going forward. Phil Withers in with the tackle, but still the ball is available for Cardiff. Owen Williams is in there, and we'll see, I think Jonathan Humphreys isn't far from the action either.
Davis, 5 out of 6. That's pulled a little left. So no change to the scoreboard. So all the pressure in the opening moments of the second half from Cardiff. Newbridge with the 22, trailing by 15 points to 3. Withers up for the forwards. Roy got hands, but it's eventually Cowlock who sends out the spin pass, and Newbridge clear. So good versatility by Paul Cowlock. Wayne Taylor there with the left-footed kick, but the spin pass from Paul Cowlock, who's had quite a day at the line-out, and now getting the three-quarters moving. Towards the tail, Williams down to Wakeford, round the tail, and still going straight through Withers. Cardiff with momentum, held up for the moment. Williams again, Owain Williams, inside flick. Andy Moore, Phil Sedgemore, the first in there trying to dig it out. It has come out, although Hemi Taylor has knocked it on.
And here we see again Owen Williams. He's a favourite with Alec Evans, to a little flick pass through just under the arm, and there we see Andy Moore looking to do the same, but he was just closed down by Newbridge.
Under pressure again, Newbridge at the scrimmage. Hemi Taylor must be careful there. He's detached from the scrimmage and he's still going forward. He should really retire behind the rear foot, and with the scrum going so well, it would be a shame to give away a penalty for offside. I always think then that if he stayed down and added weight, they could really scatter the opposition scrimmage.
That's right, because Gavin Pugh was under all sorts of trouble there, trying to get that ball under control.
He's broken again, just as it was all going forward. Withers, Wayne Taylor. Newbridge trying to run it outside their own 22. They're still in possession. Withers this time with room to make the kick, and a very good kick it is too.
It was good confident play in the end by Newbridge. They knew that they could get the ruck probably, and the one person to get it, Steve Reid, the winger for them, a very strong player indeed. When he goes to ground, he makes sure that ball was back on the Newbridge side for a good clearance.
The lights are on here at Newbridge. The sky is still blue. The moon is out. Great night for rugby. There it is. Great night for rugby, but not any tries yet. I'm sure they'll come as Humphreys prepares to throw. Gavin Pugh, though, steals one for Newbridge. Lucas. Wayne Taylor from fullback missed by the Newbridge midfield, but Withers on the loop. The little chip ahead. Good play by Withers. Well retrieved too, but just running out of room. A lot of running from Newbridge, but in fact they've made no yards at all.
Well, this has been, as I pointed out before, that they do drift across the field. They were looking for the fullback Wayne Taylor to come in straight there, but he just knocked it backwards, and Phil Withers had to loop around, and really that's all he could do, is to get it back into touch opposite where they started.
Cardiff step. And win at the line-out. Davis, John Hall. Good running from Westwood. Simon Hill in from fullback. Steve Ford falling over the defenders, but Cardiff still have possession. Mike Hall stops and now switches, and it's another switch by Cardiff. Now they've realigned. Adrian Davis trying to snipe through on his own. The ball has come off Newbridge. It could be anybody's. And I think there was a little bit of shirt tugging, and there's certainly some back chat now. Playing the man without the ball, and really it's another opportunity missed for Cardiff. Phil Withers. And we're just going to have a look now at the art of stepping across at the line-out. Brian.
And it's all done in concert, of course. There is a signal given, and the whole of the Cardiff side move across, and there's good ball from the top by Stuart Roy.
It's a move which may be under threat in the World Cup. Meek. Peter Crane. Good driving by Ryan Buckley. Crane has to retrieve it. Richard Smith takes the penalty quickly after Cardiff infringed. Nigel Meek on his own for the moment. Turns the right way. Newbridge with a head of steam up. And Cardiff have stolen it. And Adrian Davis makes Wayne Taylor turn and chase way downfield. Simon Hill and Geraint John put him under pressure. Hasn't found touch. Moore. Westwood. Westwood again on the loop. Good running by the fullback. He's got Ford outside him. Cuts inside instead. Jonathan Humphreys is there. Jonathan Humphreys is still there, having played a major part in that move. Cardiff have got the ball. Now they start all over again. Davis, the dummy, and the sidestep. Back towards the forwards. Wakeford. Owain Williams. Wakeford still has it. Stuart Roy. Hemi Taylor. Hemi Taylor with the handoff through Withers. Hemi Taylor on his own, all the way to the line. The first try of the game, a solo run by Hemi Taylor. The New Zealander turned Welshman, and Cardiff have scored their first try, and they've extended their leads. They've hit 20, and Newbridge are in real trouble.
And of course, as long as here we see it again, and it's typical play. This ball went back to the Cardiff forwards once again to just set it up, looking for it. Good control by John Wakeford there, then Stuart Roy, and he just hands it to Hemi Taylor. Hemi Taylor just hands off a couple of the Newbridge players. The one tackle that made the difference was Jonathan Hawker, and there's the conversion. But it was Jonathan Hawker who made the last tackle, but of course by that time it was too late.
The simple conversion for Adrian Davis, and Cardiff now 22 points to 3 up.
And then it was just a simple pass, or almost a pickup from Hemi Taylor, weaving himself through players, and the tackle coming too late for Newbridge.
Good changing of the ball from hand to hand there, so Taylor could get his handoff in. Straight through Phil Withers, and then good strength to stay on his feet through the remaining tackles. Hemi Taylor coming back to his old stamping ground here at Newbridge with the first try of the match. Phil Withers, that hasn't gone 10 metres. And Mike Griffiths nearly had a chance to claim that, and the whole field could have opened up to him. Replacement on the field, that's Chris John. He's come on for Steve Ford, who's gone off with a gash in the head. So no chance for Steve Ford unless it's just a temporary substitution. Steve Ford, for the moment, denied his chance to take the Heineken try-scoring record. Cardiff. Owain Williams. In comes Westwood from fullback, but runs into a maze of Newbridge defenders who give away the penalty. Newbridge have given away a lot of penalties at the tackle situation. Mark Bennett quickly for Cardiff. And just for the moment, Cardiff are managing to go through Newbridge tacklers. The switch of play. Davis, again, the little grubber kick. Mike Hall in chasing, and, well, Steve Reid for Newbridge didn't get it first time, and under intense pressure from 4 Cardiff chasers, got it right second time.
Yes, a lovely kick again by Adrian Davis, just a little diagonal kick, and you can see how cruel a rugby ball can be there. Steve Reid was just waiting to pick it up around his knees at one time, and then he had to jump something like 3 or 4 feet in the air eventually to catch the ball.
Well, it's all Cardiff at the moment. Newbridge have hardly got out of their own half in this second half. The first try has come, and I'm sure they're plotting more there.
Yes, and I think they're probably saying the same thing as they've been saying all season. If there's any difficulty out in the middle, bring it back to the forward, support it there. We'll set it up again, have a few forward charges, and then perhaps let it go across the three-quarter line.
Andy Moore to put into the Cardiff scrum, 5 metres from the Newbridge line. Not much room to work the right-hand side, so it could be a pushover or the pass out to Adrian Davis and the Cardiff backs. My call is on the right wing for the moment. Ball is out. Mark Bennett has claimed it for Cardiff, and the set scrum becomes a scrappy maul, and mercifully the whistle's gone and we can start all over again.
Well, that was mistakes from both sides there. First of all, Cardiff unable to control that ball in the set scrum, and really Newbridge had an opportunity to get it away.
Smith to Withers, forced onto his left foot by Moore. Good pressure from Cardiff scrum half there, and really Phil Withers didn't look at all sure of himself on the left foot.
No, Phil Withers was under pressure there, but Andy Moore is so good at that, around the set scrums, charging the opposition, putting them under all sorts of pressure.
So, in the same position 5 metres out, Cardiff can have another go at a back row move. Andy Moore, good game the scrum half has had tonight. Moore feeds. Owen Williams controls, pushes it over onto his right foot. Mark Bennett looks to be coming round. Defence by Newbridge, and the penalty is against Hemi Taylor, the other back row forward not involved in that little move there, obstructing Newbridge from making the tackle.
And it's good to see a referee do that. Too often sides get away with that, with a player just standing in front, stopping the opposition from getting to the ball or to the ball carrier. Hemi Taylor's been working in little fits and starts through this game. We saw him with that beautiful run at the beginning of the second half, and of course he scored the essential try and took it on his own, individual try, you could say.
Meek to throw. Cowlock can't claim it this time. Crane does claim for Newbridge, going through well though. Straight between two Cardiff players at the back. Real appetite for the ball there. Well, I'm not sure who's holding the cuddly toy then. I think it's been handed for Dad for the moment. Must be the weight of it. Cardiff against the run of the scrum there, but Simon Hill cutting back has lost the ball. Newbridge are awarded with a penalty. They've conceded nearly twice as many penalties as Cardiff, but this time they've been awarded one after Simon Hill went on a mazy run which came to naught. Phil Withers pushes Newbridge near to the Cardiff 22, and they haven't been there much in this second half.
They certainly haven't, and really Newbridge have not looked like scoring a try through their three quarters. They've won some good ball in the line-out with Paul Cowlock and Gavin Pugh, but really haven't used it very well.
Well, it was Brendan Fisher, the target, at the front of the Newbridge line out. Davis has failed to find touch, but the bounce of the ball has worked in his favour. Straight over Steve Reid's head, and did he get a touch to it? No, he didn't.
And I'm just looking at Paul Cowlock that he is limping a little. He's having trouble with his Achilles tendon. There's Steve Ford back on the touchline. He feels that in this game he has a chance of picking up one or two of those tries that he needs for 2 records that he's going for.
Steve Ford comes back onto the right wing. Mike Hall goes back from that position into the centre. And it's going to be a Newbridge throw, which Nigel Meek will take. Cowlock, again the target, again beaten to it. Davis, John, Westwood from fullback. Good tackle by Lucas in the Newbridge centre. One thing Cardiff do well, though, they don't give away possession in the tackle situation. And even though it's slow, it means they can start again or force the penalty. And Newbridge, well, it's not for the first time tonight, it must be said, have given away the penalty. And, well, it could be 3 more points. It's straight in front of the posts. This time it's Marcus Lawford who's penalised.
Yes, the crowd not happy about it, but they've been doing it for most of the night, coming in, making the tackles well, and it's not the tackler usually, it's the next man coming in that dives over and makes sure that ball doesn't come back on the Cardiff side. But Jonathan Westwood coming in at a pace there, and an excellent tackle. I think it was Alan Lucas in the middle for Newbridge making the initial tackle.
Well, there's only been 1 try, so Davis has only had 1 conversion, but this is his 9th pot at goal, so it gives an indication of how many penalties we've had in this game. That's his 9th kick, and that's his 7th successful one. And Cardiff now really in an impregnable situation. 25 points to 3, they now lead.
And of course, Cardiff beat Newbridge down at Cardiff in November, 45-8, and I think that Cardiff will probably now start running a few of these penalties and look for the likes of Steve Ford to run in a few tries.
Withers, this time he does change the direction. Simon Hill nearly in a pickle against Simon Hill. The 2 Simon Hills, almost for the first time tonight, come face to face.
And that's what can happen when you wait for a rugby ball to bounce in these conditions. There's no way you can tell where it's going to go. And there's Simon Hill. It must feel a little unfortunate to be left out of this 32-man squad. Only 2 of the Cardiff first team, you could say, who've been left out.
Cardiff, defensive line out almost for the first time in the second half. John Wakeford takes it well, and Andy Moore, who's been their general on the night, this time makes practically his first mistake of the evening and allows Simon Hill to run. Henry Taylor claims in his own 22, dummies the kick. Adrian Davis doesn't, and play is up to the halfway line.
Yes, Adrian Davis having a little smile then. He thought that Henry Taylor was going to pass that ball as well, but he was given the ball very close to the 22, and he had a little look at the 22 to make sure he was inside it so that he could put the ball direct into touch.
Cowlock beaten to it again. Cardiff claim. Andy Moore held. And there's a little bit of nonsense going on. Paul Edwards against Andy Moore. And in the middle of there, Jonathan Humphreys has dug the ball out. Andy Moore. Held by Peter Crane and Simon Hill. But this time it's Mark Bennett surging through. Phil Withers just barges him into touch. But Cardiff now seem to be going through tackles and finding more gaps than ever in the match.
And you can tell why Alec Evans favours Andy Moore. He's such a resourceful player. Look at this, so quick with his feet around that loose ball, a nice little dummy, and then he's looking for support all the way down. Eventually it comes in the shape of Bennett.
Another ball won by Cardiff. Davis, Mike Hall, Geraint John on the loop. Westwood from fullback can't claim it. Adrian Davis, long pass out to Steve Ford. The high cross kick. Cardiff must be careful not to be offside. Newbridge have got their hands on the ball, and Richard Smith can clear.
When the ball came to Steve Ford there, it's from that sort of position that he's scored lots of tries this season, where there's broken play in front of him and he's decked and weaved. It doesn't look as if he's quite got the appetite for it tonight. Perhaps a little cut on the head may have something to do with it.
Cardiff reduce to 2. The target will presumably be Stuart Roy. There he is. Goes back for it. Newbridge, though, take it away. Lawford, the back row forward. This time it's Newbridge who bundle through a tackle for a yard or two. Withers chooses to drive Cardiff back with the kick. Simon Hill against Simon Hill in pursuit. The ball wins the race to the touchline. Cardiff throwing.
Good charge by Marcus Lawford then. And here we see quite a respectable crowd, I would say, here on a Thursday night in Newbridge. Not a great crowd. I've seen the sides on the packed right around this ground.
Cardiff to restart on their own 22. Good take by Roy. Good support from his prop. Cardiff from their own 22. Westwood. Ford. Room on the outside. Tries to take Steve Reid, but that's good drift defence by centre Jonathan Hawker and by the wing Steve Reid.
Steve Reid was marking Harlan Harris, the other squad member from Swansea on Saturday, and Alan Harris didn't have a touch of the ball hardly. Steve Reid was on top of him all the time.
Now then, this is the Newbridge line out, and they've had problems here in the last quarter of an hour. Paul Cowlock hasn't been winning nearly as much ball as he was earlier. He's gone to stand at number 3, and they've chosen to throw it to somebody else. It was Peter Craig at the back. Cowlock on the bounce. Stays on his feet, but there's a Cardiff sandwich all around him, although it seems that man in front of him was doing it illegally. Meek. Cardiff aren't 10 metres. Good advantage played by the referee. Richard Smith on his own. Well played by the scrum half. Nippy little runner. Andy Moore, though, well read. Roy, the second row, decides to set it all up. Collared by Paul Edwards. Cardiff through the big men. Humphreys, Owain Williams, Moore again. What a busy game the scrum half has had. Now it might open up. Westwood in. Sloppy pass though to Hill. Hall on the loop. It's a long way round.
Yes, I think Owain Williams then was a long way offside. Mike Hall charging around the outside of the Newbridge defence and just putting in a nice kick down the touchline, but Owain Williams was already offside by that time.
So Cardiff trying to run the ball, but nothing really coming off so far. It's a lot of players receiving the ball and having a drift defence coming at them, forcing them towards the touchline.
Yes, there's not enough direct running from the Cardiff backs, really. They are drifting across and sometimes coming back too often inside. But there you see the open spaces well lit up by the moon and the floodlights, I may say.
Late spring in the Western Valley, and a game of rugby which hasn't really yet come to life, although there's endeavour enough out there, and I'm sure in the last quarter of this match we're going to see some more tries. I just have the feeling that Cardiff want to score tries. They feel in the mood to put on a bit of a show, and it's just not clicking for them.
Well, this Newbridge defence proved itself against Swansea on Saturday, and they're doing the same again, making it very difficult for Cardiff.
Cowlock beaten to it again. Moore. Good play by Andy Moore again. Seems perfectly at home on both left and right foot.
He is an accomplished player now, a very accomplished player, and he's going to pose a threat to two other scrum halves in this Welsh squad.
I suppose that there's a feeling that the Cardiff players who have suddenly come into the Welsh squad are now playing with a renewed confidence. They've had a boost that their own coach is now national coach, but I suppose the danger is that the players from other clubs are going to feel affected in a converse way. The opposite effect might hold true, that they think that Cardiff are simply swamping their chances. Newbridge are in no mood to be swamped by anybody. Still going tooth and nail at it. Withers. Lucas, the miss pass though, Michael waits for Steve Ford, who misjudges it. Geraint John, good overhead pass by the Cardiff centre. Peter Crane. Geraint John again involved. Andy Moore. Mike Hall. Jonathan Humphreys outside him, but now we have the speed men. Simon Hill, Westwood. Going on the outside against Newbridge's Simon Hill. Mike Hall, clever inside pass to Simon Hill. Couldn't quite read it, but a good bit of trickery from Cardiff then. Good footballing skills.
Good footballing skills indeed, but then once again you see the defence was there from Newbridge, and here we see Andy Moore getting it across, Mike Hall looking for the pass, and then we've got the three-quarter movement with Jonathan Westwood showing a good turn of pace, a little flick pass inside, and there was Mike Hall trying the little pass behind his back.
Perhaps it was a bit hard. The criticism a bit hard on Simon Hill. Mike Hall gave it a bit of velocity. Still, he's more and more involved in this game now. Perhaps the stint on the right wing when Steve Ford was off has given him a breather.
Usually at this stage Cardiff are trying to run in lines, but I've got a feeling that they are slightly relaxed now. They score 25 points to 3 in their favour, that perhaps they're not too worried after all about giving Steve Ford the opportunity to beat these records.
Owen Williams with his back to us.
And we have 3 of the players there in that group, and then we have some of the scribes. Gerald Davis, of course, one of the great Cardiff players.
So, 12 minutes to go. Humphreys to throw. Adrian Davis, Mike Hall. It's a little bit of off the ball between Peter Crane and Hemi Taylor, but Mike Hall, strong running. Andy Moore involved, as he has been all night. Stuart Roy, flip pass, doesn't go to Andy Moore. And Newbridge are throwing it. Wayne Taylor, Lawford in support. Now it's Newbridge's good interpassing skills. Owen Williams trying to insert himself there, gives away the penalty. Richard Smith. Not 10 yards, not 10 metres. Cardiff, Newbridge will have a second bite at a penalty.
It's a little bit frenetic in there. I think they've got opportunities just to kick themselves down, as Phil Withers is doing here, into the corner, and then see if they can work from there.
We have a substitution on the Newbridge side. There he is. Ray Clark, who's on for Jonathan Hawker. Newbridge with a rare attacking opportunity, although it must be said that they've conceded fewer penalties in the last few minutes, and the penalty count is more or less even. What can they do? Their line-out source has dried up now that Cowlock is limping around the field. This time he does claim it, and then he drops it, and Cardiff get it through his legs.
The other thing about Paul Cowlock, he must be a tired man as well, because he worked so hard on Saturday, and then to come here and try and turn it out again in 5 days' time, you can see that he's obviously limping there, and he's not quite getting as high off the ground as he was earlier in the game.
He might be the target again, though. This time, though, it's towards Pugh at the tail, and he wins it, down to Lawford. Hemi Taylor has got in the middle of that Newbridge maul, and he was offside. Nigel Meek quickly with the penalty. Runs at Sedgemore. picked up by Cowlock. Smith waits. Pugh is outside him. Can't get the pass to him. Cardiff this time are offside, and really it's the blight of the game how everybody creeps up offside at these tackle situations. Wayne Taylor. Forwards try to drive on. Ryan Buckley.
It was a little untidy though, wasn't it? That's the difference I think we've seen between Cardiff and Newbridge this evening, is the control which the Cardiff have had over the second phase ball. As they go in, they're making sure that it's put back tidily.
Cardiff with the put in at the scrummage. Good steady scrummage coming towards the touchline. Andy Moore this time held by Crane and Smith. Newbridge really need to be able to claim this ball, but in fact by holding Andy Moore up, they will have the put-in since it remained a maul.
Cardiff are still in control though, aren't they? They look as if they're in control all the time here, although Newbridge are putting the ball into the set scrum now.
Gavin Pugh with the pickup. Hemi Taylor can't get in first time and then dives on the ball, and really Cardiff now are giving away a stream of penalties.
And that was deliberate, wasn't it? You could see him then, but look at this.
Richard Smith, tackled by Bennett. Paul Edwards switches the play. Cowlock. Bad Achilles tendon and all. Can he get the ball down? No, he can't. Good defence by Cardiff. It's going to be a scrum fight, but how close Paul Cowlock came to scoring Newbridge's first try.
And if there had been a player who deserved a try, this is the man here for me. He's worked tremendously hard, and look at it. Andy Moore there again, that's the player that Cardiff can thank for a lot of their good play this evening, holding him up with the help of Steve Ford.
Good drive by the Newbridge 8, Gavin Pugh, having a go at Taylor again, and this time Pugh goes straight through Hemi Taylor. And so the try scorer is the man that lets in Gavin Pugh for Newbridge's try.
Gavin Pugh, ex-Newport player, of course, came up to Newbridge and done very well in Newbridge. He's been troubled with injuries as well, but a very good, clean pickup here. The strive going forward. Hemi Taylor not coming forward with the tackle, trying the old over the leg sort of stuff, and all he did really was to help Gavin Pugh to get over the line.
Good surge by the Newbridge 8. They haven't had the better of the scrimmaging situations, but on this occasion, and really it's simply number 8 against wing forward, and the number 8 clearly the winner. Phil Withers with the conversion. This is only his third kick at goal. And he's pushed it out, so Newbridge 8, Cardiff 25. With about 4 minutes left of play, I suppose it's too late for Newbridge to come back.
And there it is again. It was a good drive from the Newbridge pack. Perhaps Cardiff just relaxing, and there was the throw over the hip by Hemi Taylor, putting Gavin Pugh in for the try.
The restart from Davis. Lawford can't control it. Locked on there.
Little loose from the kickoffs. I think Newbridge have been like that for most of the night, that they really haven't swallowed that kick-up ball off.
So Cardiff, ever since they've scored their try, have really gone down a gear or two. They've not just lost concentration, but they've given away a stream of penalties, and it's been a very sloppy last quarter by Cardiff, and in fact they've just given away a free kick. Richard Smith, Meek, goes through Andy Moore. Richard Smith with Cardiff hanging off him, driven backwards by the tacklers.
Richard Smith there, a little reluctant to go in and get that ball. It was protected by the forwards for a long time, allowed Stuart Roy to come through and really attack him with the ball and take him down the field.
On the dust bowl of the far side, Newbridge will enjoy the put-in. Not a blade of grass on that field.
This has been one of the problems all night in the set scrums, the two ex-Bridge End players on that far side.
Smith hounded by Moore. Withers scrambles the ball away and does find touch. In fact, it touched Cardiff fingers, so Newbridge will have the throw. We move into injury time. Cardiff are secure in their lead, although it has been a fairly casual last 20 by them, and again they've done something wrong, and it's Newbridge with another penalty kick. Phil Withers tries to dummy through Adrian Davis, doesn't buy it. Lawford against John. The switch. Withers. Good running by Simon Hill. The ball is stolen though. Sedgemore. Moore. Mike Hall, the one man who's added real pace to the Cardiff attacks, tries the dummy on the outside, finds support inside, had to be Andy Moore. Owain Williams. And a great try by Simon Hill, so at long last in this match, somebody cuts loose. It's Cardiff. Their pressure throughout the game. They step out of their sloppy phase and they score a marvellous try through their left wing, Simon Hill, after great interplay by halfbacks and Mike Hall. Owain Williams supplying the support from the back row.
And it was Mike Hall who injected that pace, just threw a little dummy and then went down, and then it was also relaxed for Cardiff from here on. Good support play coming up. There's Andy Moore, he's been supporting all evening. Into number 8, Owain Williams, and then Simon Hill looking for the inside pass, taking two Newbridge players with him to score the game's second try.
Adrian Davis, just to complete the evening for Cardiff, it's his 10th kick at goal. The Cardiff night is indeed rounded off in style. Try converted by Adrian Davis, and they move comfortably into the 30s, 32 points to 8. So the late revival by Newbridge firmly stopped by Cardiff, with by far and away the best move of the game, leading to the try by Simon Hill, but made really by that man, Mike Hall.
Mike Hall, yes, he does inject pace, there's no doubt about that. He's makes the strong break and beats opposition down that touchline.
Simon Hill, try scorer. Hemi Taylor, try scorer. But all the other points from Cardiff have come from Adrian Davis. 22 in all. Owain Williams, sorry, it was Stuart Roy. And Cardiff are rampaging now. Steve Ford, tackled by Phil Withers. Andy Moore, what a great game he's had tonight. Mark Bennett. Moore waits. Newbridge give away the penalty. Now Cardiff will run it, surely. Well, it's been an emphatic victory for Cardiff, Brian, but they haven't done it all their own way.
No, I've been a little disappointed in Cardiff in the second half in particular. It started with Hemi Taylor's long run. Let's see, perhaps
Hemi
he's
Taylor
going to finish
on
up
another run to end off with now. The man with no number, a metre from the line. Jonathan Humphreys, twisting and turning, setting up the ruck. Moore waits. Will he try on his own? No, he doesn't. Taylor. Geraint John is through. Just can't make it to the line. Late flourish by Cardiff. Obstruction by Cardiff, and Newbridge have the penalty. So drama to the very last.
But that's the sort of play that I've been expecting Cardiff to play all this second half.
There it is. The referee blows his whistle. Cardiff are victorious by 32 points to 8. That more or less guarantees them the Heineken title. It's not mathematically over and done with yet, but Cardiff really are red-hot favourites, and an emphatic victory by them. 2 tries to 1. Hemi Taylor, Simon Hill, the try scorers. 22 points to Adrian Davis. Final score here at Newbridge. Newbridge 8, Cardiff 32.
Well, we said it was a business-like performance at half-time. It's certainly something a little more efficient than that. Would you agree, Neil?
Yeah, definitely. They, they lived up their reputation in the second half, and they played some superb rugby, culminating in the try by Simon Hill. It was a superb try, and obviously a great performance by Cardiff.
Charlie Faulkner congratulating the pack members. That was a terrific pack performance, Jeff.
Yeah, I think so. I think that at half-time the writing was on the wall, but I think that although Newbridge stuck at it very well, I think that the Cardiff pack, that line-out and scrum and in the loose play was dominant, really.
Well, there's Mike Hall, the Cardiff captain, who had a terrific game, and Neil, if he shows form like that as the Welsh captain out in South Africa, well, I'm sure that you'll certainly like to play with him.
Yeah, well, most certainly. Yeah, he's a very strong, very pacey guy, and he made some telling breaks tonight, leading up into Simon Hill's try as well. He's had a great game tonight, and congratulations to Cardiff. They deserve it.
So a performance tonight by Cardiff, which has gone, well, certainly an awfully long way to their gaining their first Heineken League title. And they have Newport as their last home match. And for Pontypridd, well, it's Treorchy and Llanelli. Llanelli at home at Sardis Road on Saturday. But really, Cardiff have, well, just the one hand and very firmly gripped onto that Heineken League trophy. And so let's hear from Mike Hall.
It's a smile.
Well, I don't any waving.
Well, Michael, Alec Evans said no celebratory champagne. There might be a couple of cans of beer in there, though, might there?
Well, I think we'll have a good celebration tonight, whatever. We know we haven't won it yet, but we think it's just about in the bag. And, Newport at home now, we'll sort of hopefully put on a bit of a show.
Mathematically you haven't won it, but realistically you have, surely.
Yeah, well, I think we knew that before today coming up here. I think it wasn't a great sort of spectacle, but we were very disciplined, kept it going forward. I thought it was a good performance.
Was the win everything?
Well, I think it was more important than the performance, unfortunately. That's league rugby. We desperately needed the 2 points. There's an awful lot of pressure on us. Cardiff won the championship before. I think the players felt that, but I thought we came through today.
I tell you what, it shows now that the Cardiff faithful have been hungry for this.
Yeah, I think it's great. All the kids here today from the Junior Blue and Blacks, marvellous to see them support us everywhere. It's great for them as well.
Mike, thanks very much indeed.
Well, he's obviously a delighted captain. Neil, just tell us a little bit about the feeling that's been at Sardis Road all season, about this neck-and-neck battle that you've had with Cardiff.
To be honest, we felt we were a little bit in front when we beat Cardiff away just before Christmas. We felt that we were at the top spot at the time, and we had the game in hand over Newbridge, which on the day we didn't perform very well. Newbridge, deserve everything they got. They beat us 13-9, and I think from there on in, then it was very difficult for us to catch Cardiff up and get in front. And obviously the defeat down in St Helens last Saturday, more or less set it up for Cardiff's title, really.
Yes, Jeff, it seems as if Alec Evans has set a style of play that Cardiff have shown that other clubs may well follow suit.
Well, I think what he's established is he's established pretty high standards at Cardiff. I think everybody now knows that all the players there, that if they're to get in the side, there's a lot of competition for places there. That if they want to get in the side, they've got to play well. And yes, as far as the style is concerned, they win the ball, they use it sensibly, they don't give it away.
Smile on your face after this performance tonight?
A small smile. You might have even seen a small smile on Alec's face.
But just confirm now, Jeff, that the World Cup squad of 26 players will be announced.
It'll be announced on Tuesday morning.
On Tuesday morning. Well, let's take this opportunity to wish you the very best of luck out there. And to you, Neil, a trip that you're obviously delighted to be on and looking forward to.
Well, obviously...
We've picked you now, anyway.
If selected, yeah, if selected, it should be a superb trip.
Well, and it's one final word. You've got Llanelli on Saturday.
Yes, it's going to be a bit of a dress rehearsal for the week after, but there's a few changes to our side for the game on Saturday. But obviously the boys coming in Saturday got a lot to prove. There are places up for grabs for the semi-finals, so you never know.
Very briefly, a final word on Cardiff there tonight.
Superb display, to be honest. They come up, they knew what they had to do before they come. Obviously they grounded Newbridge down early on, and it was a great win.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Neil. Thanks very much, Jeff. Well, that's it then from Newbridge. Cardiff very, very much in the run for that title. Bye-bye.